It's streaming now. We are live
now. Nice.
Okay. That's that. Shit. Hang on a second.
All right. I'm just gonna tweet this thing. I'm gonna tweet it.
I gotta figure out. It's gonna look really bad right now. Yep. Super does. Oh my gosh. We are so professional. Give me that. Give me. Okay, there we are. Give me that. That big. And big in this. There we go. All right. Do what you got to do, man. Like, whatever.
All right.
What's a funny thing I can put on the stream?
A funny thing?
Yeah, we're just gonna add
like
some
a description,
text. Like some text.
You can do one of these names for one of these fake games. You can do Custard Castle Small Claims Court.
Custard Castle Small Claims Court?
Yeah.
Sounds pretty good, man. Not gonna lie. So dumb, dude. I suck at streaming. Oh shit, really? I lost it.
Oh no.
I don't know how to get it back without. This is highly irregular. Hang on. Let me delete this. Delete. Remove. Yes. Okay, we're gonna add text. Okay, what's it called again?
Custard Castle Small Claims Court.
Okay. All right. Here we go. Okay, I got it on here now. We're just gonna shrink it. Oh shit.
Super. There's also help get the king to the toilet. Hold in your farts. Could you be the next champion?
Wow. That's good shit.
They're pretty good.
Not bad, man. Not bad. All right. It's in here. We already did the clapping, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
Okay.
We can start anytime now.
Well, let me look at this and let me look at this. Okay. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Game Bytes Show podcast. It is 7-Eleven. It's Free Slurpee Day.
Oh my gosh. You know what? I'm out. Sorry. You got this.
We're done recording. Sure. Hey, you still have a few hours left. You still have a few hours left.
All right.
If we can burn through this 30-minute Game Bytes Show. 20-minute, maybe.
If we're respectful of everybody's time, but when
yes, then you can go. Yeah, never. Then you can go get your free Slurpee at 7-Eleven. It's July 11th for those counting at home, 2022. For our European friends, it is 11/7, 2022.
Which, go get your free bog water at 11/7. Your European rest stop.
Listen, 7-Eleven has. I have a place in my heart for 7-Eleven because that was the local gas station that had like arcade machines growing up. So that's where I played Golden Axe for the first time, and I played Street Fighter 2 there for the first time.
That's so funny.
They usually had a crappy game that nobody ever played, but all the Street Fighters, they always were rotating those into the latest version of Street Fighter 2, which was cool. But
anyway. I went to 7-Eleven like 0 times. Like
really,
7-Eleven is the arithmetic problem that you do. Like 7 minus 11 is how many times I went there as a kid.
Oh, we went there all the time. I would ride my bike. It was exactly 1 mile away from my house, and we would beg my mom for some money, and we would go down there, and me and my brother would split a Slurpee, and we'd play like 2 games of Street Fighter, and then
that's pretty great.
And that was like when Street Fighter 2 came out. That was a long freaking time ago. But anyway,
yeah, who can even remember that? Not me.
It is July 11th, 2022. Welcome to the Game Bytes Show. It's just Jeremy and I tonight. If you haven't noticed, it is just Jeremy and I tonight, which is fine. Our friends are away, which is also why we didn't record last week, because everyone was away, I believe.
Everyone's traveling.
So that's what happens in the summertime on occasion, especially around holiday weekends, which is why
I love to see the footage from Dale in Japan. Since Discord, none of us bother to get Discord Nitro, so you've got about 4 good megabytes of video that you can do. So we asked Dale, everybody, if you're not in the Discord, you should come join just to take a look at this, because Dale is sending these like frantic video shots,
trying to show us everything he can like in 10 seconds.
Somebody's stuck in some horror movie in a super potato, like, oh, where's the killer, or something like that. It's like battle cam. I love it. It's great.
It's like
the only way to experience Japan.
The Doom movie with The Rock is the first person.
It's that scene, just always, and there's like squeezable like body pillows and stuff.
Yeah, good stuff in those videos.
I love that. And Jared's out in the Big Sky country down in New Mexico.
Big Sky's in Montana, first of all. Second of all, he's in
little sky country. I used to live in New Mexico.
He went from hot Dallas to hot New Mexico.
Yeah, you got to get away to another climate. That's right. Just like being in your own backyard. Might as well just set up a tent just on your side lawn.
It has been miserably hot for your weather update.
It has been. I haven't gone outside at all today. Like, I've just been like stuck in the house, happy, fine.
I will tell you this: the hot weather makes my cucumbers in my garden grow a lot faster.
Really?
Yep. Oddly enough, I had a couple cucumbers that just wouldn't grow. They weren't taking off. And then all of a sudden it got hot and blam, now I've got big cucumber plants. Yeah.
You found out the formula for real life Harvest Moon. Like, now you just need to take a, piece of ribbon to some neighborhood child or something. And I don't know.
Trade it for something else.
That's right.
Yeah.
Real life really is just like Harvest Moon.
Indeed. It's, nothing but trying to please people and
I know. I'm just working on my relationship meters with people. It's just not going well. It's I got weeds.
Like the only one that likes you is the girl with the weird purple hair. Like,
yeah,
really it
smells funny.
Yeah, that's okay. It's all right, man. It's okay.
It is all right.
Well, welcome to the show, everybody. The Game Pie Show, starring just Jeremy and Legrand. I've got a game to talk about that is new to the show, I believe.
Okay.
Maybe I'm mistaken. I have been playing. And what I want to talk a little bit about is Kid Icarus Rising on the 3DS. Uprising, my bad. This is a 3DS game. So this is the latest in the 3DS handheld renaissance. I still haven't finished Fire Emblem. I just need to buckle down and finish like the last 5 missions I have and put that game to bed. Fire Emblem Awakening, I still have the other 2 games to play at some point. But anyway, Kid Icarus Uprising has seen a little bit of playtime for me over the past little while. I don't know what I think about Kid Icarus Uprising. I know that you like it, Jeremy, which is fine.
I do. I like it a lot. So what is your...
I really like it. I really hate playing it. I hate the control. The controls are nightmare. So it's incredibly uncomfortable to play.
Here's the thing. Now, I know you're talking about holding up the 3DS, which is why real fans of the genre 3DS games will get a stand to play.
I've tried it.
I'm just kidding. So what I did, I don't remember actually having a lot of trouble holding it because I'm trying to remember why.
Were you playing on a regular 3DS or on an XL?
I think I played it on a big giant one.
Okay.
And the thing is that what I did, because I heard this before I ever played it, I heard that you take because the way that it worked is it's got like this weird trackball thing. And if you have the sensitivity set anywhere near the default setting, you have to like swipe to start looking around. And from what I understand, it's a huge pain in the ass. But
this is a first like a shooter game where you run around, you move around with the C or the circle pad analog wannabe.
Yeah.
And you fire your weapon at a targeting reticle with the L shoulder button. Yep. And you move the targeting reticle around like with
the touchpad.
With the touchpad, like kind of like a mouse situation.
I think it's more like a trackball though, isn't it? Isn't it like you swipe it to kind of get it where you're going?
That's the thing. That is only so there's also 2 modes in this game. There's like flying around. So every mission is like, oh my gosh, you're flying, and it's basically like Panzer Dragoon or Rez.
Stuff or just like comes at you, and
there's like monsters coming up in like a 3D environment. It's just like Rez or any number of these types of games, right? Panzer Dragoon is what first came to my mind. And you're basically shooting, or Space Harrier, let's say that, because it's like a dude flying with a gun, right? Like that's basically it. And so in that mode, you're basically your movement with the analog is you just basically dodging stuff. There's nothing other than that. and you move your targeting reticle around and you shoot the bad guys that come. And then once you get done with a certain portion of the level, you fly down and you land on the ground. And now there's some ground combat, and that's when things get really bad. Because it's not meant to be so same type of thing, except for that you're moving around on the ground, which means you're moving forward and back and side to side in a 3D environment, and you're still using the touchpad, kind of like in that Metroid Prime Hunters game on the DS, where you use like a first-person shooter.
Yeah.
Except for you're controlling like a mouse with the touchscreen, which actually controlled pretty well on that.
It works really well, yeah.
And
so the thing that I was just going to say, and I don't know if you're doing this, but I heard before I ever started playing it to set the sensitivity all the way up.
That has nothing to do with it. Has nothing to do with it.
Instead of swiping it to get it to do what you want, you are getting more of like a one-to-one, like actually using it like Metroid Hunters, because it was not.
Well, maybe I should try that. Maybe that's. Can you set that on a per? Because I find the flying combat to be fine and serviceable.
I don't remember.
Anyway, I'll mess with it. But the problem that I ran into on the ground combat is that maybe that will help it, but still. There's like a mission. There's like a level like this, like the 4th or 5th level, where there's actually some platforming you have to do, where your character will automatically jump when you reach the edge of a thing. And boy, howdy, is this game not a 3D platformer? It is horrible. First of all, second of all, that's basically it. The controls suck in this game, and I think that it might be easier to play if you are playing on a regular size original 3DS and not a 3DS XL, because you're effectively what ends up happening is you are holding the console with your left hand,
like with your pinky or something,
and you're trying to claw grip it as hard as you can so you don't drop it, because your left hand is dedicated to stylus aiming, and so you're trying to pull the trigger with your left index, and you're also trying to use the circle pad at the same time, but you can only grip it with one hand because the other hand is busy aiming.
Right.
And it's just, my hands are hurt after I get done playing like
I do
one
sort of
level of this
that.
game. I'm like, shaking my hands out. I'm like, wow, that was kind of fun, but God, I don't know, man. So I actually bought this game digitally for $40. So I gotta play through it. Like,
yeah,
when was the last time you bought it?
Now.
I bought it because physically this game is 120. It's an expensive game if you want to get a physical copy of this game, which I'm sure Jeremy has, which is fine. I don't.
I think I do.
And so I bought it digitally before the eShop stuff was closing down. Anyway, it ends up being pretty fun, and the voice acting is really well done. The graphics look great for a 3DS game. The 3D effect is actually really good because you're flying towards the screen, and enemies are shooting projectiles at you. You can like really tell the distance.
There's a whole weapon crafting thing, and
so you find weapons, you craft weapons, you buy weapons, you fuse weapons to make different weapons. Like
it has some of the best menus I feel like I've ever seen in a 3DS game before.
I would agree with that. I think they're all touchscreen based.
It's all touchy and feels good.
Yeah, the game's really it's a fun game. It's just, and I'm trying to find a good way to play it that it doesn't hurt my hand. So I've got this this wireless charger thing right here that you're like
improvising like duct tape and
so I'm like
handle.
Well, look, check this out. For our YouTube listeners, like I even have the game up right now. Look, you put it up and it stands on this thing, and I can kind of like let it. So that way I don't have to hold it up with just my left hand.
You just need the clearance underneath it, isn't that right? Like I feel like I was holding it up with my pinky a lot.
The problem is that this way it makes the shoulder button for shooting bad because you have to open it all the way. If I only put it like this with a slight angle, I can't. I can't look straight on. I have to like duck. I have to duck down to be able to see it to make the 3D work. So I have to play it like open, but then now I can't reach the trigger for the shooting. But it is more comfortable this way. If it only was angled down a touch more, it'd be flawless.
I feel like games that like make it physically abusive for you to like actually play like this. And you remember how I always used to complain about action or RPGs like Diablo and stuff, where it's always like
it's always just mashing the click button or whatever.
Yeah. I feel like there's some physical abuse going on there. So I hear you. I remember not feeling good after playing the game.
No, it's pretty bad. But
I really like the voice acting, and the music was awesome.
Everything else is
great.
Like,
the experience, it's like really good except for that.
So anyway, that's what I've been playing. Kid Icarus Uprising. I will keep playing it. I mean, it's a cool game. It's fun. It's just, I played like maybe 3 missions today, which they're about 10 to 15 minutes maybe. They're pretty pretty decent chunks. And every time after each mission, I'm like, okay, like I gotta take a break for a minute. Maybe I'll just look at the fuse menu for a minute. Like
Yeah.
you gotta like stop from the
You
actual
just gotta
gameplay
I
to
gotta
do
take a
dumb stuff.
knee.
So anyway, Kid Icarus Uprising. It's a
That's pretty
fantastic.
good.
It's a good game. It's fine.
And on top of that, I like the dialogue too. I seem to remember I liked the writing between Lady Palutena and Pitt, like because they have like a banter kind of thing going on.
Yeah,
And
and I
I just
met
feel like it's all really well
Dark
delivered.
Pit's in this one.
Yeah,
That's where
Dark Pit
Dark Pit came from. So
from
and
Smash Brothers.
Yeah, Dark Pit from Smash Brothers shows up in Kid Icarus
He's
Uprising.
just Kid Icarus Uprising is just a vehicle for Dark Pit.
It's a crossover. It's a crossover for with Smash Brothers. That's great.
It's pretty good because the original Kid Icarus was fine to play, except the game itself was just terrible. So
Yeah,
the game has just this uneven sort
that
of.
was like the Metroid like engine, right? Like same tech as Metroid, but not as good.
I think Kid Icarus is one of those games because it was in Captain N the Game Master, so people our age.
So I was like, I really need to play this game.
Yeah,
it's
right,
in
exactly.
Captain N.
And it's not good.
Captain N wasn't good either. It was good
people
for
still like
8-year-olds us.
Yeah, it was. I don't think I can watch it these days. Like that and the Super Mario Brothers Super Show. Every once in a while, I don't know if it's still on Netflix, but my kids would come up and they'd be like, "Dad, is that it?" I'm like, "No, keep going." it's just not good.
Kid Icarus sucked. The eggplant was the bad guy in Kid Icarus, or in Captain N.
Yeah, and the wizard, the eggplant wizard, was in the. I think he was like a mid boss or something in the game. Too.
I just got an achievement for being turned into one of those by one of those in the game.
Oh man. Well,
there you go.
It's not better than that. I don't know. Is it $40? Would you recommend that people go the Legrand route on this?
I think it is a unique experience and a very well done experience on the 3DS. So if you are looking for a good experience and you don't want to pay 100 and change for the version,
does it have multiplayer? I see.
I think it does. It has like competitive multiplayer.
We should play it.
Dude, you want to?
Yeah,
it'd be so much fun. We'd both like hate ourselves. It'd be great.
we'll have we'll come on to the show next week and be like
arthritis in our hands from playing Kid Icarus multiplayer. We're professional Kid Icarus multiplayer.
Oh man, yeah. You only last you don't age past like 25 in that game because your body just.
There's got to be a better way. There's got to be.
We'll figure it out. We're smart enough. We're experienced enough, seasoned enough. Well, the games that I've been playing this week, I actually find to be pretty good. In fact, it's funny that you were talking about playing Golden Axe for the first time and playing games in the arcade because I played, and I've kind of been meaning to talk about it for a couple of weeks, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge.
Oh, man.
Which I played the arcade game of that in like the foyer on the way into a local grocery store chain, Smith's. And they had one there. That's where I remember playing Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
I played it on the NES the first time, I think. No, I had to have played it. I had to have played it in the arcade first.
Yeah, I mean, it was popular at the time. Like everybody liked it.
I probably played it at the 49th Street Galleria. That's probably where I played
49th Street Galleria. I drive by that place a lot.
Yep.
I don't even know what it is now, but this
it's like a church
story.
I think it's a church.
Is it? Oh, like some mega church thing?
Yeah. For a school, maybe. I don't know.
Something like that. They do seminars there. When I played it, I put in a quarter once. Like I didn't have a lot of quarters, like so in the same way that people had, going out to eat might have been a treat. Like for me, it was like if I had a quarter, it was really good. And I played it, and this older kid was there, and he just like kind of weaseled his way in and like started, and my mom had to like chase him off because he was playing my quarter.
Oh, you put a quarter and he stole your game?
Yeah, he like just like,
oh my gosh,
because I wasn't doing good enough or whatever, and he started like hitting the button, and I was like, well, and I was just little, so
he's like being the older brother in this scenario.
Yeah, and then he was like, all right, get out of my way.
You beat this part for me, and then he just keeps playing.
Yep. But I really like that game, and I really like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles from the 80s also. I think that franchise has gotten weird. Even like the good latter, modern Ninja Turtles is like the CGI cartoon and stuff like this still is not quite it's not quite what that was in the 80s. And we thought teenagers were cool and mutants were cool and ninjas were cool, and the turtles just kind of got thrown in.
None of that is cool. Is that?
Yeah,
is
none
that
of it's cool now. No, none of it's cool now.
What
people
is
like
that?
turtles though.
What can we pin that on? I mean, it's just nostalgia. I mean,
I don't
Transformers Gen 1 stuff is we all love that and we hate the new stuff, right?
Yeah, the new stuff is bad. But
yeah, but why?
I don't know, because it's just not. I mean, Transformers, like they came up with Beast Wars, like that's the next one that people like. Is like, oh, I love Beast Wars. I'm like, that's stupid,
dude. It was dumb, and it was like
it's
computer
cool when
CG
Optimus
and
Prime turns into a semi truck. It's stupid when he turns into a gorilla. Like, what's that about? We have an arbitrary. In fact, I remember having this conversation because I think my mom features heavily in this episode. But she, when I was making fun of my sisters for liking My Little Pony, I'm like, no, My Little Pony's stupid. She's like, Ninja Turtles are stupid. Like, what's that all about? And I was like, I did not have an answer for that. My mom owned me about Ninja Turtles, but
My band is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles themed, so
Ninja Turtles is cool. I don't know. And this game is like a love letter to 1987, 1988 Ninja Turtles. The Ninja Turtles arcade game. It makes references all over the place to like everything. It is a
got old
brawler,
school
so
Krang on it in it.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Like with the weird like mannequin chubby dad
Yeah.
bod thing that he rode around in. And
Stupid Krang, dude. What a
and
dumb character.
it's fine. He's a brain from another
I
dimension.
mean
It's cool.
that part's cool, but the thing
And
that he drove around in,
where did
and he
they
had little
park that?
controls on it.
Yeah, I'm going to get you, turtles.
And who knows why
Uh,
he was like actually in power? Like nobody knows.
I don't know. I
He
don't
was
know.
smart.
I
He was
think
a brain.
even Shredder resented it at the time. I'm pretty sure he did not like Krang.
Oh, he
They
didn't
had sort
like.
of a Cobra Commander Destro
Oh yeah,
relationship
for
going
sure. He
on
did
there,
not like being
or
told what to do by Krang.
Megatron, Starscream. Like this is how our shows were formulated back then, right?
You know, but Starscream was always a little bitch. Like
Oh
Shredder's
yeah,
not. Shredder's not a Starscream.
No,
to
that's true. No, he's totally not, and he's back, and he's getting revenge. And this brawler is, I think it's everything about this is really well done. Almost everything is great about this game. It is a brawler in the style of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles arcade game, Turtles in Time, all of those things. So you have kind of a pseudo 3D playing field. They have a lot of interactable stuff. You're kicking trash cans, you're hitting fire hydrants. All the classic stuff. And then it has a really fairly simple but elegant combo kind of like move set system. You can basically power up at any time a power move by doing kind of a taunt that takes a little bit of time out as you do it, and you can pretty much fire off power moves all the time. You can grab foot soldiers all the time. You can do that thing where you throw them. Remember, I think it was Turtles in Time where you did it. You're like, whoa! It was using mode
when you threw
7
him into
to
the
like,
screen.
yeah, throw them into the
Yeah, that
screen,
was so
like all of
cool.
that, like that's in there. And you can also do like smack them back and forth, Hong Kong Fooey, like that sort of thing. And each of the characters, so you can play up to 6-player multiplayer online,
So good.
cross-platform, and it never feels too much. Like there's a lot going on, but you're always like, yeah, I'm Michelangelo. I know exactly where I am on the screen and whatever. Like I don't find myself really getting lost no matter what's happening. There's a revive system where as long as somebody can get to you before the counter time's down. It's cute. Like they wave pizza in front of them, like smelling salts to kind of wake them back up and stuff. You can play as any of the four.
It's not made to like eat your quarters, so it's like very generous
Right.
with
It
play
is.
through the game and have fun.
Exactly. It's like very rewarding all the time. You can level up when you play as a character. It automatically levels up over time. You get sort of experience that you accrue that unlocks better power moves and other kinds of things. You can unlock other characters. So you can be the four turtles, Splinter, the Rat Master, Casey Jones, or April O'Neil are the playable characters. I wonder if they're going to do some expansions or add-ons for this, because some of the characters that you come across, all of the villains from the TV show. So you've got your and the voice actors. So like Cam Clark and I'm trying to remember who the other voice actors are. But anyway, all of the, as far as I can tell, all or most of the original voice actors from the TV series. There's also the villains, all of the secondary characters. So your Rocksteady and your Bebop and your there's actually Toga and Razor make an appearance in this as well. So they do sort of gamified versions of the live action movie characters. And just all kinds of, there are characters there that I totally had forgotten about.
Oh yeah.
Leatherneck, the Cajun Gator,
Rat King.
Rat King is in there.
Yep.
Wingnut the Bat guy, and they're all these just like mutant.
Is Baxter Stockman in it?
I haven't come across him yet, but he was the first boss in the arcade game.
Yeah, Turtles in Time.
Something like that. Yeah. And generally speaking, it's like LeGrand was saying, it's very generous with allowing you to kind of keep playing even when you get knocked out. I have gotten a game over to fighting bosses. Music is really good. So T. Lopez, who is of the Sonic Manias, I think were the first time I really heard about him. He is the kind of music director in this, and it hits perfectly. Like it's exactly the vibe. The art is exactly the vibe. The music is exactly the vibe. The voice acting, the way the lines are delivered, exactly the vibe. There's a special track that I don't know if should I talk about the boss track? There's why not? There's a track that has Wu-Tang, like a couple of the guys from Wu-Tang are in it doing the vocals. It's just really good and really fun. And you can play a combination of local and online co-op pretty easily, which is great. They basically let you do pretty much whatever you want. And I don't know that I have a lot more to say about it, other than the only thing that I have had some trouble with is that online, I've experienced a few weird bugs online, including where my character kind of I had a situation where as we advanced forward, because in these beat 'em up games, you advance to like a little arena area, fight everybody, and then it's like go, 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 move on. And I had a situation where I went, and then everybody else kept going, and then my dude like dropped off the bottom or something like
Oh,
that, like
really?
physics like dropped off, and then it sort of kept going, and I kept seeing them do combos and stuff, and then eventually my game stopped.
That's
And then I had
weird.
another, yeah, it was weird. I had another situation where it actually, I can't remember what happened, but it actually just terminated my game without any error messages or anything. I just went back to the Xbox home screen,
Hmm.
and I was like, "Well, that's kind of bizarre."
You're
I've
playing
only
on the
had that stuff.
Xbox One?
Xbox, yeah, Xbox One, and I've downloaded it. Performs great. You don't need a Series X or anything like that. I do recommend that probably over streaming. I think it's less than a gig. It's not a very big.
Yeah, it's
Maybe
pretty
it's like 3 or
small.
4 gigs or something like that. But it's
I
not
played
it's
it
not major.
streaming on my phone the first time.
Did you? Yeah,
Actually,
that's
the
probably a good
only
way to
time
play it too.
I played it on my phone for like I played like 5 or 6 levels is all.
Really?
But I played
Yeah,
it
and
streaming on my phone the whole time over XCloud with I was using a controller and I was doing multiplayer and everything and it was great.
multiplayer matchmaking is also pretty cool too, because it uses sort of Super Mario 3 map. Scott Pilgrim kind of does it too, where you kind of use its map. And
Yeah.
and whenever you go to look for a party when you're sitting on a spot, it will automatically match. You can matchmake from just a character select screen, in which case you can play with people from all over the game. But if you're on the map and you hit like left bumper or something, you can matchmake with people who are just in the level. And it also tells you what percentage of the way they're through the level. So if
Yep.
somebody's like 90% or whatever, you're like, no thanks. Somebody's 3%, you're like, okay, I'm dropping in. And it tracks progress,
Yeah.
with so it'll keep your level progress, but you can kind of just like jump around and sort of do anything you want. There's an arcade mode. There's just all kinds of good stuff. But yeah, I definitely recommend it, especially if you have Game Pass. And since it's cross-platform, it doesn't matter what you get it on if you're playing with buddies, and it is probably a good friend time. So, Shredder's Revenge. And then I wanted to make a brief mention, since there's only two of us. Well, I'll bring a second game this week. A game that I know primarily from its soundtrack, and I had no idea what the game was. It's called Road 96. This is also something that's on Game Pass, I think, pretty recently. I think it's just a recent addition in the last couple of weeks.
I think so.
And the main reason that I know it is that the soundtrack came out on vinyl, and I just threw it on an order once because it was from some European thing. So I'm like, well, I don't know what this is, but I'm going to try and combine my shipping as much as I can, and I got it, and it's awesome. It's like this combination of like synthwave and like folk pop. That which sounds weird, but it's awesome. The soundtrack to Road 96, and Toxic Avenger is on. Like, there's all kinds of like known bands. It's like a kind of bespoke licensed soundtrack kind of situation where they, as far as I can tell, they've made music. Some of it is pre-existing, but some of it they've made, I think, just for the game. And what Road 96 is it is a sort of light dystopian kind of political alternate future in a non, kind of a made up country where politics have gotten bad, and you as a teenager, or as several teenagers actually, are trying to flee the country, or you're trying to get to Road 96, which is how you escape to the north to get away from the current situation. It is sort of in the line of a Telltale, or more like a Don't Nod kind of game. The production value is fairly like low to middle. Like, you're not going to be impressed by the graphics or anything like that, but it does this interesting thing where the choices that you make from one travel node to the next, there are these little different scenarios, and then you can kind of walk around in first person, and you can talk to different characters, or find things or not find things. And then after you've done something in that area, you can decide whether you're going to hitchhike, you're going to walk, you're going to call a cab, a taxi, or whatever. And so as you do it, you kind of branch through this map that goes around the country, and kind of eventually get to and then depending on the choices that you've made, you may or may not make it through the border. If you've got certain items or whatever, you might get your way through that, or not. And you actually will replay the game several times as different characters. And the upshot of it is that there are a lot of different choices that you can make with different personas in your the characters that you play as, and the characters that you meet on the way. So you actually encounter the same characters again, and again, depending on kind of how you treat them, or what happens, that kind of affects the next character that you play through as. So
Interesting.
in
How many
this,
characters are there to play through?
like 6, 6. It's an even number, 6 or 8, something like that. And I haven't played all the way through it, but as you go, you'll also find and unlock little like mixtapes and stuff, and that's where you play this awesome licensed soundtrack. The only drawback is that sometimes you play stuff and it doesn't really fit the mood of the spot that you are, but it's really cool to listen to. And the other thing that's kind of funny about it too is, you know how there have been games like I'm trying to remember David Cage's studio, Quantic Dream, where they did like the Origami Killer, Heavy Rain.
Heavy Rain,
and everybody was like, "Oh, they have the French voice actors. Why do they not get the or whatever?" In this case, you can sort of tell they've kind of done that, but everybody has a pretty American sounding accent, but they deliver their lines just a little off all the time, and you're like, "Wow, this is kind of interesting." But they don't sound French, but I feel like it's that same kind of thing. I'm pretty sure this is a European French game, and the way that they just inflect their voices as they talk about things it just is weird, and I find that kind of charming and dumb. But again, it's just a simple little game. It doesn't take much effort to play through, and you can get through a round of the game in maybe half an hour, 45 minutes maybe tops.
Oh, really? So it's a quick game.
And so and then you can play and then that's when again you play through again, and you sort of create this cumulative story across all of these characters as they are trying to escape the country.
That sounds pretty neat.
Yeah, and the music is really cool. And even if you don't play the game, I know the soundtrack is on like Bandcamp or on YouTube or whatever, and I'd like to go check it out.
I looked it up.
Yeah, check it out. Listen to it. It's going to be awesome. And that's another game that I've been playing this week and thought it was a lot of fun. So I think those are it. Those are the games that we've been playing this week, everyone.
All right. Well, I've got some new releases. Not very many, but Portal 1 and 2 are out on the Switch. There's also a game called Time on Frog Island, which is
I looked up Time on Frog Island. I Googled it, and it actually gave me it. So apparently there is a Frog Island in Great Britain, and it's around 4 or 5 in the morning right now there. But it looks like a little survival game with a cute cast of realistic-looking frogs, I think. I don't know exactly, but anyway, I looked it up, and I got a Google results, so I thought it was worth talking about.
Also, we've got some new Destiny guns that showed up in our inbox, so you guys are getting the scoop here. There's
hipsters.
A game called Accident, or a gun, sorry, Accident.
Yeah, I think this is a rocket launcher, or possibly it's probably a rocket launcher.
Grenade launcher where you shoot it at the wall.
Grenade, and accidentally.
Yeah. Yep. There's a gun called Understand. I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know what they're going for with this one, but yeah. Also,
probably an assault rifle.
Gangsta Magic.
I like it. Gangsta Magic is a sidearm. Sideways.
Okay, yeah, I can see that. And it shoots out like, I don't know.
Sparkles.
And finally, Elves Fantasy Hentai Puzzle is the new gun coming in the next expansion, so make sure you check that one out.
Naming conventions. Weird.
That's right. There's some free games or some added games to the Nintendo Switch Online if you are paying for the Genesis games, which I don't think any of us are.
No.
Comic Zone, which is a game I always saw and wanted to play and never did.
It's really hard. It's difficult.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, it's like a brawler, but you kind of go through different panels.
You have save states now. You can save scum your way through.
Yeah, that's true. You'd be able to.
Mega Man: The Wily Wars. This is like the Genesis.
It's like a remake of Mega Man something, but on the Genesis, which I think is kind of cool, and the music is kind of cool. It's not the same, but
music is good.
Yeah.
Target Earth is a game I don't know anything about, and Zero Wing also nothing. So
when was the last time you heard a Zero Wing joke? Probably around the same time someone set us up the bomb.
Is that what that's from?
Yeah, Zero Wing. It's a game that everybody kind of knows about, but nobody's ever actually played.
Nobody actually knows the name of the game. They just know.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's all that stuff.
Make your time. Make your time with the news in the world of video games. Going around right now are rumors that E3 is going to return in 2023 . So as you recall,
it's not a rumor anymore. It's been announced.
It's confirmed. Okay.
Yes, because I work
2023.
Because Reed Pop is one of my clients. So
really, LeGrand is getting me into E3 2023 is what I'm hearing.
That's going to be the one that people are fighting to go to and support on site because they want to go to E3 probably.
They won't. Yeah.
I'll tell you what. E3, when I did go to E3 for work, I had all access to the show, like everywhere.
Really?
I could go anywhere. Yeah, it was amazing.
I mean, video game celebrities are not the same as like TV and movie celebrities. So you can just walk right up to Will Wright and like smack him for.
So the interesting thing about this is that Reed Pop, they produce PAX and they also produce New York Comic Con. So they are big event.
Good at it.
Producer. They do Star Wars Celebration. I was just at Star Wars. They do the D23 event for Disney. So these guys are big time event producers. They're my clients. I know all the executives. Like it should be pretty okay, but I don't know what they're going to do with it. Their focus, I mean, they do have a B2B side, but Reed Pop is not the B2B branch of Reed exhibitions. Reed Pop is the pop culture, PAX, the NYCC, the those types of events. So I don't know what the plan is, because historically E3 has been a trade show, right? And then they started inviting the general public to come because they weren't making any money, or they wanted to make more money, or all of the above.
Right.
And so I don't know what that means for E3, and I have no inside scoop, and I probably couldn't give it even if I had it, but I don't have anything at the time.
Well, if you can plead innocence, we can speculate all we want.
Exactly.
The question is, can they go head to head against the Dorito Pope? This remains to be seen.
It's a good question.
Remains to be seen.
Question.
We have some sad news for nobody but Legrand. The Heroes of the Storm era. Heroes of the Storm era has finally come to an end. Blizzard has announced that the development of the game is actually ending. It will no longer be receiving new content, although there will be free hero rotations. So it's on sort of the
pay us money still, but we're not going to
life
be
support model. Yeah,
it's like what StarCraft 2 is on the same model. Like it's not unprecedented.
Just rotating things around. Yeah, no, it's fine. And Legrand still likes it, so he'll be able to.
You look up go to PC Gamer. Those guys love Heroes of the Storm.
Do they?
Talk to Video Game Donkey, like that weird dude on YouTube. He's like, Heroes of the Storm is the only fun one of these games, and I would agree. Like it is still a good time. It's a shame. It's a shame. A damn shame.
Crying shame
that Blizzard is putting it out to pasture. It's also a damn shame that it even got to this point in general, because it's a damn shame that more people didn't play the game, because it's awesome.
I mean, in the same world where Arena of Valor exists, you just...
Okay, Arena of Valor is pretty damn good, but Wild Rift is better than Arena of Valor.
Really, I haven't played Wild Rift, and every once in a while I kind of like look over the fence a little bit. I'm like
I play Wild Rift every once in a while. I'll play a few rounds every few weeks, maybe.
Did you? Yeah. So anyhow, if the field of MOBAs it's not as expansive a field as it used to be. I mean, it used to be that MOBAs were all over the place. I wonder if we've reached MOBA capacity. There aren't any.
Well, there are two.
Yeah,
effectively.
You've got your Coke and your Pepsi.
Yeah, you've got League of Legends, which features 45-minute rounds, and you've got Dota 2, which also features 45-minute rounds. You have HOTS that features 20-minute rounds, which are fast and simple and awesome. And I'll tell you what, like 2 or 3 weeks ago, I got on with my brothers and we played HOTS all night long. Like the game is still good, regardless of not getting new heroes, new maps. This doesn't mean, as long as you can find a game, like there's no reason why you wouldn't.
I'm a big believer in the longevity of a game. It doesn't have to be the newest, sweetest thing in order to be good.
It doesn't even need to have new content. Like, what does it need? Like, it's still, chess is still good despite having not changed the rules or received updates in.
I mean, look at Hearthstone. They're still receiving cards for doing updates for Hearthstone, and I'm still like, no, thank you.
Exactly right. Anyway,
yeah.
I imagine I will continue to play HOTS from time to time. I never, it's not like I need a new hero. I own all of them except for maybe 5 out of like the 80 or something. So I own almost everything. I've spent plenty of money in Heroes of the Storm, and I've played plenty of hours of that game. Maybe close to 2,000 rounds of Heroes of the Storm.
Wow.
So
I don't think I've done 2,000 of anything in my life ever.
I am a little sad about the news, but it's. I mean, honestly, they've gotten maybe 3 updates in the last 4 years, so it's not like they're doing. I mean, I guess they were having like their events and stuff like that, and so we'll see what happens. But,
I mean, other than that, I mean, the only other thing that's coming up in Blizzard's what do they got? Like Overwatch 2, which is basically Overwatch 1 So in their limited roster,
and Diablo
games,
Immortal and Diablo 4 coming, and World of Warcraft expansion. Like they still got stuff.
Yeah,
and Hearthstone has an expansion coming out that is.
And out of like 4 or 5 games, like there's room for HOTS to have a little spot to.
I really wish. I wish they didn't need to make all the money. Wish they could just support a game that was modeled.
Blizzard, hear us. Our personal appeal.
I guarantee you, HOTS was profitable.
We know the E3
it just
people.
didn't make Warcraft money, and so they were like, yeah, nah, or Diablo Immortal money.
I hate that sort of thinking. That's the kind of thinking that ended Disney Infinity, and
that is the thinking. That is the exact thinking.
I hate it.
I hate it. Yep.
I hate it. Hey, but speaking of some thinking that we can get behind, EA for once in I don't know how long, giving the people what they want. showing us some footage of Skate 4 is a game that's happening. The footage is kind of weird looking. Like I don't know if you've seen this, but
I
it's
did. I watched it.
it kind of looks like simple Blender models or whatever, or what do you call it, like poser kind of
Yeah, it's like
models
there's
doing
no
like.
texture. It's like cell shaded almost. It's like
And the animations are not really that great, but I think EA is just trying to let people know, like, hey, we know that Star Wars thing didn't work out, but here's it. Here's like
we are still making
the
that's the whole point of the trailer, and they basically say it like, yo, like we are making this, and I know this doesn't look like what you expect, but here's our shitty prototype. That's basically what they're saying.
The funny thing too is it looks like that Ubisoft Viking downhill game where there's just like 100 people like riding down the hill, and this is the same thing where it's like 100 people on skateboards. Like, no, it's cool.
I will tell
But
you, they did have a pretty cool thing in the trailer where they showed people customizing their own skate parks.
making the stuff as you, sort of a Little Big
That seems
Planet
pretty
style.
cool. So being able to
Yeah.
drop rails in or build terrain and add ramps and just kind of create
Yep.
some wacky. Because that the funnest part of Skate 3, like I've probably played Skate 3 within the last 3 months. Like I've still like Skate 3 is still an amazing game that still holds up. But the most fun part of that game is finding the dumbest thing to jump off of, or the dumbest longest rail to grind, or
Yeah.
I mean, so I'm interested to see what people can come up with. So if they can keep the spirit of Skate 3 and make a better looking version, Skate 3 is so good still. It's almost like you don't even need you do need it.
That's true.
You want it, but Skate 3 is still great. So play Skate 3, and then you'll be excited when Skate 4 comes out. That's
In
the moral of the story.
2028, when Skate 4 comes out 6 years from now.
Exactly. Yeah.
Here's some new information that's relevant to me. The one guy who has not played Skyrim, like I still have not. A new multiplayer mod for Skyrim downloaded
been holding
50,000
off.
times.
You've been
I've been
holding
waiting for just this moment. This is my time.
Yeah.
Actually, I was waiting for the VR version of it, and then I just didn't. So I think I sort of passed the
VR version's out. You haven't played it?
No, I never did. I just was like, no.
I hear it's
But
really cool.
whenever I think about it, I'm just like, I feel like I've played this game before, even though I've never played it ever.
Or any other Elder Scrolls game for that matter.
I did play Elder Scrolls Arena some. So Skyrim Together Reborn is designed for groups of up to 8 players, but it has been tested with over 30, sort of almost MMO style ish. And you can play this using so this is going to be for the PC version only. It doesn't support Skyrim VR or anything before Special Edition 1.6. So you do need Skyrim Special Edition 1.6
with
or
all
later.
the add-ons.
With just turn them all on and just go to town with it. So they're still testing compatibility with other mods, which is cool. But this, I don't know. I could maybe play this. I don't know. I probably won't, but I could if I wanted.
It's the thing that everybody wanted when the game came out 20 years ago.
I know. I was gonna say this is another thing that's a little bit past its expiration.
I mean, but it's not like Bethesda's been working on it. This has been like nerds in their basement.
That's true.
We really want to explore Tamriel with our friends.
That's true. And there's still not. I bet you anything that Starfield is going to be single player only, and no, all the people.
15 years from now, hold out and you'll play.
Yeah, exactly. Just wait for the mod community to bolster up and give you what you actually want. If you haven't died by then. Which
right.
That's a possibility. So who knows? Life is short. Whatever. I'm just it's newsflash.
I don't want to die before I can play Starfield. Please.
Well, those of us who thought we would die before Facebook removed its mandatory login from Oculus Quest, good news, you have survived. You've lived to see the day.
You can now buy a Quest.
That's right. You can now's your time. So actually, now they've got just a different kind of account. It's the same company, and it's still a login. And there's no who's to say what they're doing with this anyway. They're just tying it in. They're making a database link somewhere.
And every time you put on your damn headsets, be like, "Hey, click here to create your Facebook account."
Would you like to link a Facebook
to sign up to Facebook? And it's like you click a button, and all of a sudden it just takes you to a profile, and
it already
has a picture
where
of your
did
dumb
this
avatar.
info come from? Yeah,
and it's got like all of your info all preloaded and some like screenshots on your feed and some
like we swear
friends.
We haven't. Yeah, exactly. No. So for those of you who were, and Dale Jones, I know you're out there frantically taking video around a super potato. I know that this was an issue for you. Now is your time. VR has arrived, my friend.
Wait for the Oculus Quest 3 at this point, I suppose, if you're not in yet.
Yeah.
Should be coming soon, right?
Yep. theoretically, I feel like, well, wasn't there a thing where they were doing like 8 different VR headset styles or something
Yeah, did
like
you watch
that?
that
Where they
video?
were,
Did you
no,
watch
I
that
didn't.
video?
Was it like
It
some
was
cool
Mark
stuff?
Zuckerberg, who was like, here's a bunch of prototypes we have, and he was like, and this
Here
is
are
the
the
one
prototypes.
this is the one that focuses on like pixel density, the screen, like it being as best as possible. Here's the one that focuses on HDR. Here's the one that
Could you
focuses
imagine having to
on.
sell that at retail? Like somebody's like,
Well,
so
but
tell me about
basically
these
what he was
8.
saying is like, here's all the cool tech. We've got it all working in these prototypes. Our goal is to now put it into one unit and make it
See,
as awesome
now
as
we're
possible.
just waiting for the Skyrim mod community to show up and to actually combine all of this stuff.
Hey, that dude still has John Carmack working for him. Like Zuckerberg might be a weird dude, but
That's true.
he's
I want to
hired
hear
some
more
smart
from
people.
Carmack. I want to
Oh,
hear more
yeah.
from Carmack.
Have you ever
Where's
listened
he
to
at?
his who is that that podcaster guy that's really popular that smokes a lot of weed
Oh
and interviews
yeah.
people?
He injects himself with horse
Yeah, that guy. What's his
dewormer.
name?
I can't think. Joe Rogan.
Joe Rogan. The Joe Rogan podcast.
Friend of the show, Joe Rogan.
Yeah, he listens. The Joe Rogan podcast featuring John Carmack is
that was a good
absolute delight for anyone
it was
who
a good episode.
really wants to nerd out on some nerdy stuff. Like, you want to listen to that dude talk about his jet engine freaking Lamborghinis he built? Like, you should go listen to that
like if you're
podcast.
watching us, like you probably have a very narrow idea of what it means to be a nerd, but he is like next level. He's into.
It's so good. I might, it's worth a second listen. I might
go back and listen to it again.
Is so good. It's really.
It's funny. There are some podcast episodes that go back for like 15 years, and I still think about them sometimes.
Yeah.
Like I think a lot. Like this is no one is going to get this reference, but there was an episode of the One Up Show where they interviewed Eskil Steenberg. Like nobody's ever heard of this guy, and I don't know what he's done, but he did an MMO called Love at the time, and he was talking about like the theory of people interacting and cooperating and making a game that engendered that sort of thing. And it was just fascinating to listen to people who know what they're talking about. Or even like Dennis Dyack. Did you ever listen to his Dennis Dyack like One Console Future podcast where he was having that feud with not Reddit, but the what was the video game forum at the time that was really, anyway, and so they're just like talking to him about all of this, and he's like talking about the commoditization of technology and stuff. So every once in a while in life you'll come across like a website article or a podcast episode or something, and you're like, you just find yourself thinking about it. So listeners, if there's something you've picked up from the Game Bytes Show podcast that you just keep going, just think about.
I really can't remember the episode of July 11th, 2022.
Yeah. I mean, you can look at our episode titles. Maybe the titles are the things.
The titles are what?
I don't know.
Yeah, what we can.
Yeah. Well, guys, that's going to do it for our main news for this episode, but we still have a lot going on in the news speedrun. Start that music.
Titanfall 3, maybe? Apparently, Apex Legends is hiring for developers for a single-player spin-off to Apex Legends, which is a spin-off of Titanfall.
I just like I'm sure everybody made this joke, but I just like the idea that they're like, we should spin off Apex Legends.
We should make a single-player Apex Legends.
And get this, there'll be giant robots. This. Yeah.
You can climb in them and out them. They have personalities. It'd be great.
Wow. Hitman 3 is getting its first post-launch map at the end of July, and this thing's been out since has it been like 2 years?
It's been a while.
It's been a while. Yeah.
COVID is time dilation with COVID is really.
Yeah. IO Interactive, though, I think that it was only last year that they obtained the right to the game, I think. So it might be that they had to start from scratch after they were sold from Square Enix or whatever. So anyhow, Dale, that's also Dale news.
Vampire Survivors, yes, that game. I only put this in because we have fans of the show that play this game. Apparently, they're getting its final boss in a new patch. So it is still in early access. It is on Game Pass if you do have that service. It is only $3 if you don't actually own it. And
it's addictive. Yeah, it is. I consider myself having completely finished this game when I found a little place. I wish I'd have taken some video. I think I took a screenshot and put it in the Discord where I found myself wedged in between the bookshelves in the library area, and I got like 4 different deaths zooming in, and they couldn't touch me. So I feel like I beat that game.
They actually have a way where you can beat him now and keep playing.
Really? Oh wow.
The game, I haven't played the game since, and I kind of told myself I'm just gonna wait for a while because I was just obsessively playing.
So the Skyrim mod community.
I'm going to wait until this game has a ton more content, and then I'm going to go and
what if they added multiplayer? This would be a great multiplayer game. Wouldn't that be great?
Fun. That would be fun.
Red Dead Redemption Online is also ending updates. More sad news. It's probably due to GTA Online, but I guess there's some Red Dead Redemption fans out there who are sad today.
It was okay. I played it a little bit online. It was fine.
It's fine. Cowboys have never been, I think since the 1950s, that was the last time that there was like cowboys. The Wild West was like the fantasy that you wanted to live out. But
I
I don't know, it
mean,
did all right for a little while.
Red Dead Redemption is a great game. You can live out that fantasy in single player, but
yeah,
the multiplayer, I think it just was slower paced. So I bet there's still some weird nerds out there that like role play in Red Dead Redemption Online. That'd be kind of fun.
We need the Skyrim mod community to hit Red Dead Redemption Online.
Maybe they can fix it. Sucker Punch is not working on Sly Cooper or Infamous, and well, nobody else is either. So
yeah, this actually is genuinely a shame. I don't know what they're working on, but either of these I think would be knockouts if farm it out to someone. I'm sure they could do something with it.
Infamous is. I don't need another Infamous game.
Yeah.
Is that a bad thing to say?
No, it's not a bad thing to say. I was actually thinking about Prototype again. Actually, just this last week, I was like, man.
You were not, dude.
No, I genuinely was. I was thinking about like the music to Prototype and wishing they would put it on vinyl. And I was like, that was a good game. I really like the powers. Like, I really like the concept of Prototype. And I was actually thinking about the Twitter account Radical Man 1 that was like the only guy from Radical Games or whatever it was, the studio that made it, and he's been long gone. But anyway, yeah. So I think about weird Twitter accounts sometimes too. I don't know, stuff just gets stuck in my head. Well, hey, this is a new thing. It's funny that you should put this on here, Legrand, because I just saw for the first time that there's like Harry Potter giant Lego characters, and they're actually just like if you bought a big Lego figure, except you make them out of little Legos. And apparently Bowser, and I don't know if this is Doug Bowser or John Bowser, who, in prison.
It's Doogie Bowser.
Doogie Bowser, MD, is getting his own massive Lego character set for $270. Legos continue to be a huge scam.
Indeed.
Yeah.
The Matrix Awakens, this is that promo Unreal Engine 5 thing. Are they on Unreal Engine 5 or 6?
5.
Anyway, that whole demo that was on the PlayStation 5 is getting delisted on July 9th. Oh, man.
So, more sad news. Hey, the good news is that you still have your
it's July 11th.
Oh, no. Well, too bad for you guys. If you added it to your library, can you still re-download it?
I don't know, but I don't.
Like
I
really
probably deleted it because it was huge.
It was really big. Hey, the good news, though, is if you still have your PlayStation 2 or GameCube era copies of Enter the Matrix or The Matrix, The Path of Neo, those are still fully playable. And by the way, I would do that. So if you out there hearing this and want to do that, I fully support you and I will watch your stream. Okay. God of War Ragnarok, as soon as somebody asked me at Legrand's barbecue when God of War Ragnarok was coming out, I'm like, oh man, haven't you heard they're releasing that next year? Immediately came out on the internet that God of War Ragnarok is coming out in November of this year. So everybody get ready for that. Super hyped. Hype and buy.
Also,
probably.
Hype and buy. So Ron Gilbert was on the internet talking about Return to Monkey Island, and everyone started making fun of it and the way that it looked. So he basically said, okay, that's it. No more updates. You guys don't get to learn anything else about this game until it comes out. And he
pulled a Phil Fish. If that's a reference anybody gets.
Yep.
I'll be honest. Like, it was fun. I'm a huge Monkey Island fan. I didn't think it looked awesome. Like the art did not make me excited for the game. I'm excited for everything but the art, basically. But it's fine. It's fine. It's serviceable. But yeah, all you guys.
It looks like Skate 4's concept art.
It a little bit. It's all like flat. It looks like animated little like cutout pieces. It's fine. It's fine. Well, Dr. Disrespect, since we're making all the references this episode, Dr. Disrespect has a AAA studio and they are making an extraction shooter.
Oh my gosh.
Dr. Disrespect has been banned from this shooter already.
Yes. Wait a minute. Can they do that?
He's banned. That's just how it is.
Listen, my favorite first-person shooter of all time is an extraction first-person shooter. So, Bandai Namco sent. So, this is I'm going to read this headline. Okay. Bandai Namco sent Let Me Solo Her, Elden Ring Legend, an actual sword for killing Millennia 2,000 times.
Did you copy and paste this headline? Because we need to credit whoever it is who wrote that.
I rewrote it.
Oh, because it's beautiful. It's descriptive. I know, right? It tells you everything you need to know.
Bandai Namco sent Let Me Solo Her, Elden Ring Legend, an actual sword for killing Millennia 2,000 times. It makes a perfect sense.
I'm going to diagram this sentence.
Okay,
so speed run is now the slow run as I try and figure out the grammar.
So Millennia is the hardest boss in Elden Ring to beat. Most people would agree with me on that, I think. and there is a player named Let Me Solo Her, who basically stands outside Millennia's lair and then allows people to summon him into their game. And his name is Let Me Solo Her, and he just walks in with the other player and then beats the shit out of the hardest boss in the game for you, and allows you to get past that game. And so it's kind of it's been going around on Reddit and the Elden Ring subreddits, and it's kind of a meme at this point. But he apparently beat Millennia 2,000. He or she, who knows, 2,000 times, and Bandai Namco sent him an actual sword.
Which he promptly got in his underwear and started running around the neighborhood.
Probably.
Hitting things. Speedy Games Done Quick has earned more than $3 million for charity. I don't think that is a record, but it's still a whole lot of money.
I think Awesome Games Done Quick is their bigger one, the one in January. Right?
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, I think it is. Everybody's cold and on the inside of the house.
The Halo Infinite co-op beta was set to come out like today, and then it was delayed. Like they announced it like last week, like, yo, the co-op beta's coming out. And then
those guys have not hit a single target on that. I actually heard once, I was listening to a different podcast. It was the Sacred Symbols podcast, and they were kind of talking about this, how apparently the whoever is involved at Microsoft basically just like let the Halo Infinite team just kind of do whatever they wanted, and they would like ask them how's it going, and they're like, oh, it's great, and then they would not like check in on them or anything like that. and I don't know if that's true, but the way they described it,
so good.
They're just like, okay, you guys just do whatever you want, and this is what it's like when millennials start running your game studios. Finally, because this is good for podcasting, I just thought this was super cute. It's a little hard to do, and maybe we'll put some of these in the Discord. But finally, in the recent Steam Summer Game Sale, there was a little mini game that Valve came up with where they basically created a bunch of fake, sort of vaguely credible games that they created their own art for it and everything. And they're just really dumb. And I just kind of wanted to read through a couple of these titles because I thought they were pretty cute. One of them was called Actually Frankenstein's Monster Edition. We have also here Bass Ain't Bitin' 2022, which looks pretty good. We also have Help the King to the Toilet, which looks a little bit like Reigns or whatever. We also have something called Hold in Your Farts. Could you be my next champion? And then we had just a bunch of those. So,
I like the one called It's Probably Fine.
It's probably fine. You have to kind of see you have to actually see the art. You have to see the art. This is totally dumb. We'll drop it in the Discord. But if you happen to notice that, 2022. I know they do look pretty good. And actually, I do kind of like, because it's very referential, the consecration of Esthme, which is sort of everyone's gone to the rapture, or where's Esther kind of thing. So I thought it was cute, and I love when a company has a good sense of humor about
pro poker amateur.
Yeah. I do like that too. That is pretty good. Or if you're watching the stream, Custard Castle Small Claims Court, which I actually want to see that one. I want to see that one happen. So, folks, that is going to do it for this episode of your Game Bytes Show podcast. I want to thank you for making it all the way through, talking about the games that we played and the news out there in the world of video games. If you have any thoughts or comments about the news, if there's something that we missed that's big news and we need to know about it, or if there's a game that you want to share your progress on or tell us what you've been playing, you can find us on social media and tell us all about that. We are collectively on Game Bytes Show on Twitter. You can also reach out to us individually. I am at Jeremy_Lamont.
You can find me at Legrand.
You can also find our traveling man companions, our vagabond co-hosts. Dale Count Elmdor Jones is at Count Elmdor, and Jared Red Eye Dunn is at RED_I. Boy, I almost, they're gone for a week and I can't remember who they are. I don't know. And of course, you can find us also at GameBytesShow.com, where you'll find a link to our Discord server. If you really want to be in the know and hitting the stuff right off the presses, follow us on YouTube, youtube.com/GameBytesShow, where we do this show live on Mondays and bring a little bit of joy into that dreariest day of the week. And of course, you can come and join us on Discord, and we can be your friends 24/7. Just come join our Discord server and see a bunch of these Valve storefront arts that are pretty funny and cool. Also, who knows? I've heard there's playing Warhammer going on. People might be getting things together. Ninja Turtles, if you want to play Ninja Turtles or whatever, or
Ninja Turtle Night it.
Ninja Turtles, or I don't know. Like I said, there could Hunt Show. You know, I got Hunt Showdown, and I've actually played the tutorial. I didn't talk about that, but
And
it's okay. It's fine. I'm kind of disappointed that there's not cross-platform multiplayer. I was led to believe that there was. So
are you playing with a headset?
I'm playing with the surround sound, and I can hear what you've been saying about
Okay,
the
cool.
audio. I think it's just basically they turned up the volume on all the ambient sounds, basically, is what, as far as I can tell. But I did. This is, you know, I know that we're done with the news, but I heard that they hired a new guy to manage that Hunt Showdown brand. So
It's growing still.
we
You know
have a
how
new guy that we can
like
complain
games
to.
usually trail off and kind of go away. Like it's
Yeah,
slowly picking up, like very slowly, but it is
that's weird.
slowly picking up steam over time. Like when I first started playing it, there were averaging 3,000 players in any given moment, and now they're averaging close to 15,000 or something like that. So
How about that? Well,
there you
maybe,
go.
you know, if the Skyrim mod community could please get involved on this so we could get some cross-platform multiplayer on Hunt Showdown, I think I'm finally going to try it. I'm finally in.
Oh,
And
good.
folks, we'll be back next week to do all of this stuff all over again, maybe with more people, maybe with less. I don't know. Who knows? We're going to keep you guessing here at the Game Bytes Show. But it's always a good time, always 30 minutes, and we're always happy to have you here. So that's going to do it for this episode of your Game Bytes Show podcast. Thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you next time.
See ya. Keeping the stream up. Just kidding.
Means I got to like keep smiling.
Ha 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 ha. We're still here. Ha ha. Yeah.